class reunion notice. Among the ads and newspapers in the mailbox, there was one envelope. When I opened it, it turned out to be a notice about a high school reunion. When was the last time a reunion was held? Maybe about 10 years ago. In any case, it's been quite a while. The organizer listed on the notice was David. David, that's unexpected, him taking on such a bothersome role. As I was reminiscing about the past, suddenly, the front door opened. "Excuse me, Dr. Brown. I fell off my bike, and my front tooth is wobbly. Can you take a look at it? Are you okay, Mary? Come on into the examination room. I'll take a look right away." "Thanks, Doc. I'm John Brown. I run a dental clinic in a village that's been facing depopulation. Up until 2 years ago, I was working at a dental hospital in the city, but this village had neither a clinic nor a hospital, only a mobile clinic that came by a few times a month with general practitioners and surgeons. Hearing that, I decided to be a dentist here. When I first arrived, I found that most of the villagers had cavities or periodontal disease during dental checkups. Maintaining oral health is actually very important. There was someone whose headaches went away after treating their cavities. Another person said their digestion improved after their periodontal disease was treated because they could enjoy their meals again. The dental clinic was well received by the villagers. There are a lot of nice people in this village. They share vegetables and fruits they grow at home, and since I'm single, they bring me various side dishes, worrying about my diet. "Dr. Brown, would you like some pork beans?" "Thank you, Linda. Your pork beans is delicious. I love it." Especially, the ladies often bring various things, but there is also something a bit troubling. "Dr. Brown, take a look at this photo. Betty, is it? Again. This girl turned 28 last month. She might not be a beauty, but she has a good temperament. What do you think, Doc?" Well, haha. Like this, along with vegetables and side dishes, the ladies would bring matchmaking photos. "I've only been here for 2 years, and I can't afford to get married." So I'd always respond with a wry smile to evade the topic. Well, such conversations can be seen as part of community communication, so it's not too bad. In this tranquil village, I've been living slightly more lively days. The notice of the high school reunion arrived in mid-July. It's been a while since the last reunion. Might as well go. The venue is in a restaurant downtown far from the village. Entering the restaurant, I saw familiar faces. "John, is that you? Long time no see." The person who called out to me was Emily, who was our class president in senior year. "It's been a while." "Stop that. It's been nearly 15 years since we graduated. We met at a previous class reunion, and the smile on her face hasn't changed since then. And I'm not Smith anymore, I'm Davis. And I'm not Williams anymore, I've become Taylor. Things I thought hadn't changed, but it seems a lot can change in 10 years. I'm still Johnson, though I got married, but yeah. Well, men's last names usually don't change, do they? I guess you're right." It was a time when I was laughing and talking with some old friends. The organizer, David, suddenly interrupted the conversation. "Is everyone doing well? I'm currently the office manager at Jackson General Hospital. How about you all? Is work going good?" David's grand entrance made the previously friendly atmosphere go quiet. Jackson General Hospital, that's his family's place, right? I wondered why he suddenly started talking about his family business. "Office manager at your parents' hospital, huh? I've seen that in dramas. The hospital office manager isn't that big of a deal, right? Wait, wasn't David aiming for medical school? Didn't he become a doctor?" The reactions were not what he had expected, and David's face fell. Just then, Emily looked at me as if remembering something. "John, you went to dental college, right? are you working as a dentist now? Yeah, weren't you working at the dental hospital affiliated with the university? Before I could answer, Tom, my closest friend, replied to Emily's question. As he did, several people around David gathered around me. Really? So you did go into the medical field? That's awesome. Dentists perform surgeries too, right? An associate at a university-affiliated hospital sounds pretty cool. Everyone's reaction seemed to completely sour David's mood. He glared at me intensely before walking away without saying a word. Later, after the toast, I saw David again. "Oh no," I heard him mutter in a panicked voice before he hurried out of the restaurant again. During this 10-year reunion with my classmates, little groups formed here and there as everyone shared updates about their lives and reminisced about our high school days. "By the way, Tom, I don't work at the dental college anymore." "Really? Where are you working now?" "I've been running a dental practice in a small rural town for the past 2 years. It's a peaceful and quaint place." At first, everyone was surprised that I had left the university hospital on my own, but they became very interested as I talked about my life in the village. "John, you're still single. You should try arranged dates. That might suit someone shy like you." "Don't talk like it's none of your business," I said, joining in the laughter with the guys. Then, Emily nostalgically chimed in. "Being a dentist in the countryside suits you, John. You were always kind in high school and seemed like the type who couldn't leave villagers without a doctor." "I get it. That's so John. Always approachable and soft-spoken. Unlike David, who always came off as condescending and was hard to talk to, but with John, it was easy." As everyone started to say similar things, I began to feel a bit embarrassed. That's when David came back. "Really? John is running some dentist's office in a sleepy, shrinking town. That fits a plain guy like you. Ha ha ha." His comment ruined the pleasant atmosphere once again. David really hadn't changed at all. Always trying to make himself look better by putting others down. Disappointed by his unchanged behavior, Tom seemed to think the same thing. "David's the same as ever. Can't join the conversation without looking down on others, huh?" he said with a sigh of relief. The women, including Emily, began to express their disapproval. "Don't you realize that's exactly why you were disliked back then? If he was aware, a grown adult wouldn't make such lame comments." They began to voice their dissatisfaction with David. Everyone must be angry that their precious opportunity was ruined. However, while David looks embarrassed, he says, "Oh, I'm honest at heart and can't lie." He protested, wondering if he was unable to back down, but he seemed to be aware that he was in pain. The target was on me, who had been silent for a long time. "You all are making a fuss over John, but is that story about him leaving the university hospital true? What if he was actually so incompetent that he got fired and had to flee to the countryside?" I was about to retort angrily when I saw something black flying towards David. I thought something black was flying toward David, but at the same time, a woman's voice said, "It's probably you who is useless, bro. Flunked out 3 times and still couldn't get into maid school. Can't even handle accounting. You had to beg Dad to put you in a cushy job as a director with just a title, didn't you?" Before everyone could react, more scathing words followed. David, making a sour face, picked up the black wallet that had fallen to his feet. The black object that had flown through the air was this. "Just go home. That's what you say to your sister, who came all the way to bring your wallet. Leaving your important wallet at home, you'll always be a klutz." David was scolded by his sister and looked a bit sulky. I had no idea David had a sister. Neither did the rest of the classmates, apparently, as they all looked on in surprise at the exchange. David's sister scolded her brother and then turned to us with a bow. "Sorry for showing such an embarrassing scene. My name is Lisa, his sister. I apologize for the trouble my brother may have always caused you all." After saying that, she bowed again, and just as I thought she was going to look at me, she walked briskly right up to me. You're Dr. Brown, who was at the Dental University Hospital until 2 years ago, right? Yes, that's me. Have we met somewhere before? This is actually the first time we've talked directly, but I've known about you, Dr. Brown, the famous oral surgeon, since my training days at the Dental University Hospital. Lisa said this with a happy face as she took my hand. Then the classmates nearby started buzzing again. A famous oral surgeon, John. John is such a renowned doctor. So, is Lisa a dentist too? Does that mean Lisa is John's junior? Lisa received the barrage of questions from the classmates with a smile. I'm a dental hygienist, actually. Unfortunately, I'm not a dentist. Dr. Brown has been known as a genius in oral surgery since his time at the Dental University, she replied. With Lisa's answer, everyone's gaze turned to me all at once. No, you're exaggerating. I'm not that special. I tried to deny it in a hurry, but my classmates were still buzzing. When I worked at the university hospital, indeed, the typical dental treatments like cavities weren't the main part of my job. My job was to perform surgeries on people who had injured their teeth or jaws in car accidents, or who had tumors in their jawbones. Of course, the success of an operation isn't due to my efforts alone. Anesthesiologists, nurses, and many others' cooperation are needed for success. Dr. Brown, I'm really sorry to ask in such a place, but may I make a request? Out of the blue, Lisa said something so serious after being so formal. Her expression was unusually intense. Thinking that she might have some important matter to discuss, we decided to move to a table in the corner of the venue. Shall we head over to that table then? Although our classmates seemed eager to listen in, they respectfully didn't follow any further. Before moving to the table, Lisa forcibly pulled David along with her, and once the three of us were seated, she began to speak with a serious look on her face, saying, Actually, it turns out that a man was seriously injured during a rugby game yesterday and had to be rushed to the emergency room. He had a fractured jaw and several broken teeth. Lisa seemed to be thinking about the patient and was wondering where to transfer her case, since the dentist at Jackson General Hospital couldn't handle the situation. However, because the injured man is a well-known player, David believes that if the hospital successfully performs the surgery, it would attract a lot of attention and become famous. He's been at odds with Lisa, opposing the transfer. David, Lisa's right, you know. We as medical professionals always have to think about what's best for the patient. Mark, the player, should be treated right here. David cut me off. Apparently, he doesn't want to hear my opinion, which is same as Lisa's. Lisa then glared at David. That's why, when I heard the rumor that Dr. Brown might leave the affiliated hospital of the Dental University, I asked you to poach him for our hospital, but you, David, ended up doing nothing. Hearing Lisa's serious voice, David finally fell silent. After a pause, Lisa turned to me and bowed her head again. Dr. Brown, would you please lend us your expertise? Me. Could you do the surgery at my hospital? Lisa continues to bow her head as I look confused. Our hospital is out of its depth with this case, and to be honest, I don't think the chances of a successful surgery are high at any other hospital. The only one who can get Mark back in the game is you, Dr. Brown. Please, I'm begging you. Moved by her desperation, I agreed to immediately check Mark's medical records and condition. Lisa was right. His injuries were severe. When I greeted Mark, who couldn't speak, he begged me with written words, his handwriting trembling, Doctor, please, I want to get back to my team and play again soon. Convinced by his written plea, I resolved to help him. The next day, I consulted with Dr. Hill, the dentist at Jackson General Hospital, and arranged for him to assist me with the surgery, with Lisa helping as a dental hygienist. The surgery, which took just over 6 hours with everyone's cooperation, was a success. As I was preparing to return home, Lisa and David came to me. Lisa's eyes sparkled as she firmly grasped my hand. Watching Dr. Brown perform the surgery was inspirational. Your skill is just as the reputation says. No, even greater. It was a great learning experience. Thank you so much. No, I should be thanking you for the precise assistance. You truly are an excellent hygienist, Lisa. I can't believe that Dr. Brown praised me. I'm so happy. As we shook hands vigorously, I found her excitement endearing. Then David said something surprising. John, thank you. It was really helpful. I apologize for all the rude things I've said. What? I heard something very uncharacteristic of David, but I'll take it at face value. Remember, Mark needs complete rest for a while, so please be careful with him. I was surprised by David's uncharacteristic words, but his gratitude was clear. After a friendly laugh, David bowed deeply and silently. If there's anything you are concerned about, don't hesitate to get in touch. Everyone back in the village is waiting for me, so I'll take my leave now. After bidding farewell, I returned to the village. A month later, I heard that Mark was set to be discharged from the hospital. The surgery had become a topic on internet news, and the villagers praised me a lot for it. Perhaps because of that, I've noticed a slight increase in people bringing me matchmaking photos. Mark, after being discharged, praised the hospital's aftercare, and the hospital's reputation seems to be very good. At the next reunion, I imagine everyone will be pleasantly surprised by the change in David. Dr. Brown, I've had this canker sore for 3 days now. What should I do? Patients keep coming to the small dental clinic in the village. I want to be of help to them in any way I can. I want to help them. That must be the essence of being a medical professional. I will deal with many more patients in the future.